Oh Lord, pull up in that '04, pedal to the metal, says she wanna hit the flow more.
Okay, I was telling you last week that I had this vision. I was cycling back in March of this year around Tourist Park, and I looked up, and it was like this blinding light from above told me that the Atlanta Braves were going to be in the World Series. I told you that last week. But you know, I had this moment. I had this moment on Saturday that told me not only will the Braves be in the World Series, but they would win the World Series. And you know what? The Braves are going to win the World Series. And I'm going to tell you that moment when I first discovered that. But first, go right now to subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited to get the greatest sports coverage on the face of the earth right here. All the sports teams, okay? The Atlanta Braves in their march toward the World Championship, which they're going to win for the first time since 1995. Oh, here's the other thing. Prize Picks. Look at this right here. See this right here? I played on Sunday, okay? And I won. I got all 3 picks. Hey, the way Prize Picks works, you can choose anywhere between 2 and 5 players. Mix and match NFL players, NBA players, other sports, and what have you. You go over or under to decide what you want to do in that situation. And remember, when you sign up for this, put in the code ASU as in Atlanta Sports Unlimited. That's us. Put in ASU. And if you do that, they will match what you put in up to $100. Prize Picks. Yeah, you don't want to miss this thing. Hey, I won. I mean, it's not enough for me to get on the rocket ship with those millionaires, I should say billionaires, to go to Mars or halfway there. But I got enough for a nice vacation next year. So just remember that. And remember this. Remember that the Braves are going to win the World Series. And that moment, when did that moment first come to me? Oh, I'll tell you when it was. It was right here. I took this picture, right as within 3 seconds after Dansby footed that ground ball for the last out on Saturday, Game 6, National League Championship Series against the LA Dodgers. Okay, the Braves were up in the series 3-2. Okay, they win that game. They go to the World Series. So here we are in the top of the 9th inning. Ground ball to Dansby Swanson. He feels it kind of tricky hop. Throws the first base, and Freddie Freeman makes that stretch and tumbling and whatever, and the runner is out, and the place goes crazy at Tourist Park where this took place. And I'm in the press off watching this thing to within 3 seconds. I took this shot right here. Okay. That's when I knew. Actually, not. To be honest with you, I didn't know they're going to win the World Series at that moment, but maybe it was later. Okay, because after the game, I'm down on the field. All the reporters on the field and just walk around interviewing players and what have you. They had their champagne shower. We were watching on the scoreboard, and then they came from the champagne shower out to the field to talk to the media and to mingle with their family members. So, so I think the moment came right here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, that's Ronald Acuna. And Ronald Acuna was right there, and he was speaking Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I was there, and I just had this feeling that, you know what, this team has come a long way. Look at this. They lost during the course of the year. They lost Mike Soroka, their best pitcher, their number 1 starting pitcher. He was gone for the entire year. They lost the starting catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. He was gone for like 3 months because he hurt his hand. Who else was gone? Ozuna was out of there. Their cleanup hitter. Been out since May because that little domestic issue with his wife. Actually, it was a big domestic issue. He got kicked out of baseball for a little bit. For a long time. He's not coming back. Then, who else they lost? Oh, they lost Ronald Acuna, their best player, and one of the best players in Major League Baseball. And despite all that, they made these 6 trades right at the trading deadline, July 31st, about a month after the All-Star break, and that started this spurt. Okay, so looking at Ronald Acuna, that reminded me of all that, but that's not when I thought they're going to win the World Series. All right, maybe it was a few minutes later, actually maybe 20 minutes later. I walk around the field, and all of a sudden I look up, And I run into this guy right here, Mr. Pearls. You know about Jock Peterson and the Pearls, all right? I mean, that has served to loosen this team up in many ways. You know, just like last year, they went up 2 games to none in the National League Championship Series, best of 7 against the LA Dodgers. Then they also went up 3 games to 1. Okay, last year they did it. This year they did it. But unlike last year, they didn't choke. Last year, the Dodgers went on to beat the Braves for the National League pennant and to win the World Championship. Okay? This year, when the Braves went up 2-0 and then 3-1 in the best of 7 series, they didn't choke. They won Game 6 Saturday over at Truist Park, you know, except in the last second. They won it, okay? And so it's like a team that's loose. Okay, I mean, they got a guy wearing pearls. And plus, Jock Peterson, besides all that, Jock Peterson is a clutch player. They got a lot of clutch players out there. I mean, you look at that lineup, they're all over the place. Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman, Adam Duvall, who led the National League in RBIs. I mean, just Dansby Swanson is clutch. They're all clutch. Austin Riley, he's going to be the most valuable player in the National League. At least he should be. Probably not. We won't be, but he should be. Okay, so you got all these parts there. So so I was looking at that picture right there, of Mr. Pearls, and I'm thinking to myself, but no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. You know when I knew that they were going to win the World Series is when I came back here to my office, and I looked up over here and I saw this picture, and I brought the picture here so you can see it. There it is. That guy, Henry Louis Aaron. I don't know who that guy is right there, but that's Henry Louis Aaron. That's why the Atlanta Braves are going to win it all. Now remember, Hank Aaron. I was closer to Hank Aaron than any other reporter in the history of mankind. We were extremely close, all right? Hank Aaron passed away in January. Since that time, the Atlanta Braves, they've dedicated this season to Hank Aaron. They got that big 44 in center field and that sort of thing. And Hank is always there. Brian Snitker, the last person that Hank Aaron hired back in the 1980s when he was in charge of their farm system was Brian Snitker. This guy who was like this journeyman player. And Hank calls him into his office and says, hey, you know what? I think you would be a better coach than you are a player. Brian Snitker kind of like, I kind of had his thoughts, but Hank talked him into it. And Hank told me many times before that people want him to fire Brian Snitker, and he said, I'm not going to do it. Because Hank told me years ago that Brian Snitker was going to be a great manager. And guess what? Brian Snitker is a great manager. Okay? So, we're back to this guy. So, back to this guy. First team that the Atlanta Braves play in the playoffs are the Milwaukee Brewers. Interesting. These are the same Milwaukee Brewers that Hank Aaron finishes the last 2 years of his 23 years in Major League Baseball playing for. The Milwaukee Brewers. Oh, and he's doing it in Milwaukee. That's where he started his Major League career back in 1954 with the old Milwaukee Braves before they moved to Milwaukee and moved to Atlanta in 1966. It's like the stars, the moon was all lined up for that. I guess who was favored in that series? The Milwaukee Brewers were favored. But you know what? The Braves beat them. Then the Braves came back in the National League Championship Series to play the mighty Los Angeles Dodgers. You already know about that. I told you what happened with that. The Dodgers were the favorites. Heavy favorites. The Braves beat them. Now, those Braves are playing the Houston Astros. World Series beginning Tuesday night in Houston. 2 games there, 3 games in Atlanta, and then 2 games in Houston if they're all needed. Best of 7 series. First team to 4 victories wins it all. Oh, here's the thing about the Houston Astros. Their manager is Dusty Baker. I know a little bit about Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker is a friend of mine. Dusty Baker and I go back to the late 1970s when he was a player for the LA Dodgers. Okay? I just talked to Dusty the other day. Great guy. All right? Now get this. Dusty Baker started out as a player for the Atlanta Braves before he went to the Dodgers. Spent his first 6-7 years in Major League Baseball with the Atlanta Braves. And guess who Dusty Baker adopted as his unofficial father? Hank Aaron. And not only that, Hank Aaron adopted Dusty Baker as his unofficial son. They were like this. Very close. The same Dusty Baker that's the manager of Houston Astros, all right? Matter of fact, as the years went on, even though Dusty went on to the Dodgers and then went from that to manage various teams from San Francisco to Chicago to Cincinnati to the Washington Nationals, and taking all those teams to the playoffs before he took these Houston Astros to the playoffs. Along the way, he was still very close to Hank Aaron. Very, very close. Hank Aaron loved Dusty Baker as Dusty Baker loved Hank Aaron. Okay? So, Dusty is also playing for Hank Aaron. All right? But here's the thing. No offense, Dusty. You and I are pretty close. But as much as Hank Aaron loved Dusty Baker, Hank Aaron loved the Atlanta Braves. You can put just a little bit more. Okay? Therefore, this guy, the spirit of this guy, I don't know who that guy is right there. The spirit of this guy right here is going to be enough to push the Atlanta Braves to a world championship. Let me be the first to say it right here to Atlanta Braves. Congratulations.
This is my falsetto, wicked potion with the slow pour. This is my addiction, make me wanna go for more. Pale